it better to date people one at a time or juggle them simultaneously? Now, I think that most people assume there's like a period where there's juggling and then there becomes an exclusive period after that. And there's also this kind of idea with thinking that the masculine is able to juggle and be in mambo number 5, whereas the feminine prefers one at a time. And perhaps that's true, but when you think about the fact that men have fighter sperm, they have actual sperm that's only purpose is to fight off the other sperm that has been in their woman, you can't help but think, are women actually meant to be the ones juggling rather than one at a time? Like, biologically it appears we seem to be, I mean, if you think about the basics of we are egg chooses sperm, we're choosing, and then the fact that men have a specialized sperm that's only meant to knock out competitive sperm, that maybe our idea that women prefer dating one at a time and men prefer juggling should actually be reversed. Because for men who are juggling, they're going through a lot of paranoia, guilt, and confrontation, because the tension of women finding out about each other and that makes women feel unsafe and scared right away. And it kind of is like for men, if they dated one at a time, I think that would be in their masculine. And let me know if you agree or disagree. I think that they are meant to kind of have a little more of a focus on one woman at a time. It doesn't mean that of course, you could be interested in multiple people, but maybe when you're considering how to pursue these interests, take one at a time and make your decision based, like spend a lot of time with this one woman and then decide, okay, do I want to go forward with exclusivity or do I want to pursue this other connection? I really think it's interesting to think about, because women, when women date one at a time, they can get so single-mindedly, like in a pining, yearning, oh, I got to spend time with this, like that they enter, I think, their masculine energy when they're dating one at a time, because they are so focused on this guy, and then that guy feels it and gets stressed out by this kind of sense of obligation and this kind of like person that's like just so focused. Whereas you notice that when you are in the energy of as a woman and you're dating multiple people, like you're meeting multiple people, really. I don't even consider it dating, because it's not like you're not usually having sex with multiple people. You're usually just meeting people on apps. But when men feel that, they have more of a, they give you more of a container. They give you more. They give you their better self. Whereas when you're focused on them, they kind of can get into like running away energy, withdrawal energy. Now, maybe this isn't true, of course. Like the ideal for me, I mean, just to be clear, the ideal for me is monogamy in an exclusive relationship where both people are growing and evolving together and having a lot of quality time and consistent communication, and like they've chosen each other. So just to be clear, I'm hashing out a lot, but I'm not trying to have a moralizing about, even because I really don't consider myself polyamorous, and I'm not advocating that women be a certain way or men be a certain way, but I'm just kind of exploring what is it that works and what's considered masculine and feminine, because I see a lot of videos that are always talking about it, and I kind of have been fascinated by thinking about when men are in the mambo number 5, but they're not satisfied, there's like a void, and they're like men who've gotten out of that life will often be sharing the perspective of how that's so empty and how it felt like they were leaking out sexual energy, and how they actually feel better when they have a commitment. They actually feel freer in that, and they feel freer dating one at a time. And then I noticed that women will have this idea of if you're in early dating, keep it moving by dating multiple people and juggling, rather than getting fixated on one at a time. And so I think that's really worth thinking about. So for women, being fixated in dating one at a time may not be ideal. It may actually be more stressful because it's putting them in their masculine. And for men, juggling multiple women rather than dating one at a time puts them in their feminine and chaos, and it makes them feel a sense of a void, empty, and also just kind of it doesn't quite work for their ideal nature, their best self. And so what do you guys think? I think it's an interesting thing to analyze. I tend to think that I like dating one at a time as a woman, but I have to admit my energy is more attractive when I am juggling people. And I definitely feel way more trust in a man who dates one at a time rather than juggling. And so it's worth thinking about. It's worth thinking about that fighter sperm too, because that the very fact that men produce just sperm that fights off other sperm reveals a natural kind of evolutionary biology aspect of how the feminine is the chooser, and that there may be multiple options, and maybe the moment number 5 is meant for the feminine, and maybe men are so dissatisfied because they are actually in their feminine, and men and women are dissatisfied when they get single-focused, single-tracked on one man because they're not meant to be that way. So it's worth thinking about.